What's up, my friends? Just waiting on the other half of the show. The most important half, some would say. I don't know. There she is. Here she comes. Almost. All right. Good morning.
My tallow chapstick.
There you go.
Beef tallow. Okay,
There you
excuse
go.
me.
Come on in.
I don't like sitting in these low chairs.
Oh, stop your whining. What's up, Cody, my man?
Gosh, I'm stuck.
Hope you're good.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, come on.
I'm stuck on this chair.
This is not professional.
Get over it.
Hope you're good there in OKC.
Hashtag real life.
Oklahoma. All right. Yo.
All
right, you guys, today we're talking about importance of routines. So bring in your questions and we will answer them as we can. Tulsa, I know you're not in OK. Okay, so let's start it off.
Okay, you
All
gonna
right.
pray?
Every day we do 3 things. What are those things, Mel?
We do our prayer, our intentions for the day, and a gratitude. Pin.
All right, go for it.
Dear Jesus, thank you so much for all the blessings that you give us, God. Help us use those blessings to make good choices and to be the best us we can be. Amen. That was my elementary school. That was my elementary school motto.
Yeah.
I am a Maple Hills Eagle.
We have greatness inside of us. What's up, Savannah? Good to see you. What's up, Gemma Phantom? Hey, I hadn't seen you in a while.
Hello. Intentions for the day.
Intentions for
I'm
the day.
going to start first because you never do your intentions.
All right, go for it.
You never know what we mean. So our intentions that we're setting for the day is how we want to project out into the day, our attitude, our spirit, our mind, our behavior, all of those things. So, but we have to look at what we do in the past and what has not been working for us to set our intentions. So you can't be like, I'm going to eat so great, and that's your intention. No, what if you yell at your kids all the time? Set an intention not to yell at your kids. Make sense?
Yeah.
So do you have an intention based on your terrible, terrible past? Just joking.
And you have to have a plan for it too, because if you don't have a plan, then things just happen, right? So last night, here we're in Washington, and we have a kind of house in place, shelter in place kind of thing.
A stay-at-home order from our governor.
Yeah, a stay-at-home order because of the pandemic, obviously. And what is that going to look like for work, for our routine stuff? So I want to be level-headed. I want to be calm. I want to be solid, and want to provide and then also keep some of my routines today. And that's what I want to be intentional about. And doing this marriage morning is really part of our routine that kind of keeps us centered, keeps us okay, we're going to start it out here. And it's a good thing. And then what's the last thing?
Well, I didn't do my intention, but thank you.
Go ahead.
My intention that I want to set for today is establishing a new routine with our kids as we walk into this season of temporary homeschooling. Because it's harder than I thought it was going to be. Not that I thought it was going to be easy by any stretch, but it's really hard because the kids keep comparing it to school. And I'm trying to be no, this is what we're doing. We're learning this way. And they're but that's not what we do in school. And so my intention is to not lose my temper, to not get mad at them, to not be disrespectful to them or disrespectful to our time together. So that's my intention. And my intention also for you and the kids is that you clean the house constantly throughout the day.
Right. All right. Good. And then gratitude. What are we thankful for? I am thankful that we have very simple things like money to go to the grocery store, food and meat in the freezer so I can cook later and feed our family and feed myself. I'm thankful that we have our health right now and a dry roof over our head. Just super small stuff that if we didn't have, we would be hurting.
I'm really thankful for our dog, Doug. I love him and he brings me joy.
He's a funny dog.
He is. And I'm really thankful for this time of homeschooling stuff where I get to just be creative and crafty all day long, and that's part of the day. I love building things, building furniture, painting, all of it. So
making stuff, being creative.
Yeah, I really find that joyful, so I'm thankful for it.
Okay, awesome. So today we're going to talk about routines and the importance. Let's see, any questions here? Establishing routines when life now looks very different. Yeah, that's exactly
something I want to talk about.
Exactly what we're going to talk about. So prior to this pandemic, I was doing a thing called the 75 hard, right? And it is very routine. You have a long list of things that you have to do every single day for 75 days straight. And I got in a routine around it. And because I was in a routine around that, Melanie was in a routine, and the kids were in a routine, right? So that ended, I don't know, on St. Patrick's Day, actually. and then all this other stuff hit. So it was like a double whammy of routine is just kind of out of the water, right? Kids aren't in school. I am working from home more, and Melanie has less time by herself to do podcast stuff and all this. So our routine is just blown up, right? So how do we react to that routine change? Do we fall apart? Do we like, oh my goodness, then have all this instability on top of instability? Or do we adjust and create a new routine? And I've found, as a therapist and just as a human, the power of routines to be very helpful and to be flexible and malleable in that. So our new routine is the kids don't wake up as early, right? We get to do more stuff and have more time together to do marriage mornings.
In the morning.
In the mornings, that's right. Let's see, I get to plan out my day a little bit differently. I can come home early and then work from home, which is really good. And it's a good thing. I don't mind coming home early and spending more time here with the kids and everything.
Oh, good. One of the things I wanted to talk about in this idea of routine is that I think, this is not a fact or anything, but I think of the word rut and routine, that our mind is designed, it is a rut-making machine. It wants routine. It wants a path. It wants things to be easy. That's why if you accidentally start a habit of doing something, it's very hard to stop. If you are a nail biter, your brain has a rut to that nail biting, whatever.
It's a pathway.
It's a pathway.
Right.
And so I want you to think of that both with the positive and the negative. And I really want you to hear what I just said. A positive rut is a thing. So working, like when you were doing 75 hard, we got so used to Daddy worked out twice a day and he read for 10 pages worth of a book and he doesn't cheat on his diet and he did it every day. And we were so used to it as a family that when he stopped, we were like, what do we do now? Like we had this really positive rut of an hour and a half of working out every day.
I actually really miss it and want to start again just to do it because it's like, wow.
Well, like I would do yoga when you would do your last workout, and now I'm like, oh, I miss my yoga time because I don't remember.
And then it's just boring to go to bed.
Yeah, and so that that is something I want you to think about, is that you can create positive ruts, but you usually have to make them on purpose, right? And that's things like drinking more water, blah, blah, blah. But if you are having to homeschool your children, this is a great time to actively, on purpose, with intention, tell them why you're creating these positive ruts. Do it as a team. I used to say to our kids, a team is a family. I used to say something funny to our kids. I can't remember what it is now. The team is our family. Our family is the team. I don't know. That is not funny at all. Well, but anyway, even something like making healthy food. I have started to, our kids have to know how to do this. And so I work on this is how you make a avocado toast. This is how you make a great healthy sandwich. And it's creating a positive rut. And you want more positive ruts than negative ones.
So how about this? If you don't create a routine, if we don't create intentional routines will be created for us.
Yeah.
100%. Things happen. Things aren't going to slow down just because we're slacking or whatever, right? Things will be created for us. Then we find ourselves in a reactionary instead of a proactive approach. And that just sucks. That's where increased anxiety goes up. That's where increased stress goes up. And then cortisol levels shoot up. And then we find ourselves after a while, just not happy. What are we doing? It's where did our time go?
Yeah.
Where did our money go? Dave Ramsey talks about you tell your money where to go. Your money doesn't tell you where it's going, right? So it's gonna happen. The train is leaving town. Absolutely, no matter what. You have to decide if you're going to be on that train or if that train is just going everywhere.
Well, and this is a good time too. Is I was thinking the other day when I was like, man, the kids.
This is a good time.
The kids are. Why do they interrupt what I'm doing all the time? And then I was like, what am I doing all the time?
Right.
And I had to really assess, am I actually doing something productive when I'm on the computer?
No.
Let me think. Searching through Craigslist for used picnic tables. Productive?
Nope.
No, not really productive. Oh, or 31 things you need on Amazon?
Or
really productive?
Endless pictures of dogs that you make me look at.
Listen, dogs are great.
They're great, but if I look at another dog picture, then I don't even know.
But I want you to think about, you have to also assess and evaluate what patterns and routines you have that are not life-giving to you, that are stealing your joy. I was getting mad at the kids because I wanted to Google another picnic table somewhere locally. I'm like, come on, that is so stupid, but that is exactly what I was doing. And that was a routine that I had set in my morning. Like, I sit there, I drink my coffee, I look at some dog videos that some people share, maybe a goat video. Look, I have farmer friends, okay?
That's good.
And I was literally I enjoy it. That doesn't mean it's bad or it's stupid. I don't care what you think about it, but it's not helpful, especially if I'm getting mad at my kids about it, right?
Well, it's not timed well, right? You can do those things, right? Like, we like to watch a show, me and the kids, at night. But if it's during the day when there's other stuff to be done, then that's just bad timing, right? There's nothing wrong with looking at dog pictures on Facebook.
That's right.
You know, for spending 30 minutes. If all your other stuff is done, the routine that you've created around it, and we're intentional about it, then that's fine. That's A-okay. It's just like a budget, you know? Okay, keep $100 in your blow money. You could spend it on an ant farm, $100 worth of ant farms. It doesn't matter because you set aside, you earmarked that money for it, and our time and routines are absolutely no different. So obviously we want to hear from you guys. How has your routine been changed from all this recent stuff that's happening? How has it
well, let's share some of our routines. We didn't share our actual routines.
Let's give some tips that are actually helpful. Take away for moms, take away for dads. What is helpful? So go.
Well, one of the things I do, and if you followed our show, you probably know this already, but every morning when I do my makeup, I listen to some type of educational thing. I love listening to Joyce Meyer. Like, I love that. This morning I was listening to the audiobook of The Call of the Wild and Free, which is a homeschooling thing that several people have told me I should look into.
Yeah.
If you want an audiobook for free on us, you can go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage. If you're having to homeschool your kids and you've got, you know, whatever, if you want more information about it, you can get The Call of the Wild and Free. It is really great. I'm loving it. So every morning, that's what I get my coffee. I make my coffee on our amazing espresso machine. I sit down, I look at dog photos, I do email and stuff and Facebook message people. Then I go into the bathroom and I put my makeup on and listen to something enjoyable. I enjoy that time of just listening and whatever. And then we do marriage mornings right after that. And then the kids will probably wake up while we're recording. I make breakfast. But now this new routine is I'm teaching the kids how to do everything because we're not in a rush to get to school. So now it's, okay, you crack the eggs for a French toast. Oh, do you want it to taste different? Yesterday, we made pancakes. One was raspberry filled, like we have frozen raspberries, and then the other one was huckleberry filled. And then we tried pancakes with peanut butter. Yeah. Ooh. We had tried pancakes with peanut butter, pancakes with honey. Like, it sounds silly, but those times of just talking with our kids in the morning now, in our new routine, is really enjoyable. It's really fun. And then for me, it's homeschool stuff after that. We made a family rules board. We have be respectful, be honest, be responsible, be grateful, be kind, be excellent. We make our kids read it. We do a morning prayer. And then it's just like, what reading can we do? I'm reading books out loud and all that kind of stuff. So
somebody says, entrepreneur marriage coach says, already work from home. That's good.
Crushing it.
And then Coach Superman says, I've been spending more quality time with my kids. Oh, imagine that. So have we. So if we can reframe some of this pandemic stuff into, we're actually getting to spend more time together. I saw some meme like, people during non-quarantine and everybody's on their tablets and stuff, and then people during actual quarantine when we shouldn't be together, everybody's like outside in parks doing stuff, living life, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is really awesome. It's a refocus on what really matters most. And in our opinion, what matters most is relationship, family, and being together and being supportive and loving.
But the end
Mountaineer,
of
I wish I was off military, but the traffic is amazing. Yeah, I know. Like, I drove to downtown Seattle yesterday, and it took like 5 minutes to get there. I promise you. Well,
That's
not really,
crazy.
but it just like boom, zero traffic, no people. It's weird.
Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, so, one of the other routines though I wanted to say too is that every day I make it a point. This was before the stay-at-home thing. I would have the kids help me clean the whole house. I have them clean up after themselves. But then now, before Daddy would come home from work, that was our thing. We need to clean the house for Daddy as a gift to Daddy to show him that we care about him. So that was kind of how we were trying to do it.
And then what does that do? Of course, I appreciate that. But then what does that do? Because I cook dinner every night. If the kitchen is clean and my workspace is all clean and ready to go, then boom, we eat supper and it just works.
Cook my workspace?
Yeah. Look, hold on. Somebody says, teaching kids life lessons and more time being intentional with family and faraway board games over FaceTime too. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Teaching kids life lessons, like more is caught than taught. We've talked about that before. One thing I do miss is I used to take Mariner to school, and just on our 15-minute drive to school, we would just talk. More is caught than taught. So I do miss that, but I have different opportunities now that people are home. Tips or advice for hubs who now work at home and doesn't have a 3 to 4 hour commute, but is now working those hours and working straight through lunch, not really setting boundaries. Okay, so there, from a husband's perspective, I don't know what field he's in, but there might be increased pressure to like mobilize and react to this whole crisis. I know at my work as a leader and stuff, there's been a huge thing of like, okay, how are we going to see clients? We're going to do teletherapy. We're going to do phone sessions. There's a lot of damage control happening to still make things work. So maybe he's like on high, DEFCON 5 or red alert of whatever, of like, oh crap, stuff's going to fall apart if I don't push through this. So that might be a thing, but then maybe after this new routine for him and you settles down, talk about, hey, although you have the opportunity to work a ton more, you also have the opportunity to be with us in a different way.
Yeah, I
think about that.
Don't scroll yet. I can't stand it when you do that and then you don't listen to what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
I'm important too. One of the things that I think for that idea is invitation, like an invitation to doing it differently, and as opposed to saying, because this is what I would do in the past, you always do this and you never do that, and now you're working through lunch, blah, blah, blah. Like, right. I would just like
you just
vomit,
come at you sideways
and knock your knees out. But what I would say is, if you've got kiddos and you can encourage, let's make lunch for daddy. Let's ask him to come sit with us. You want to make daddy a special lemonade or whatever. I mean, just who cares what it is? Kids want to do anything like that, and inviting that and making it something that your husband is like, oh, this is a respite. Like,
it could be an opportunity to interact differently.
Yes.
It's not like you have to make sandwiches or all that stuff. Sure, that's good, but an opportunity to interact in a different way.
Yeah, don't do what you would normally do. And that's the really hard thing to hear and say and do. Right?
Especially when we're talking about the power of routines. Don't do
But we're creating new routines.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? How about this what?
I don't remember.
You forgot it already.
Okay. And now it'll catch up to him, and I know it'll catch up to him eventually, but how can we be intentional about having boundaries and restrictions around working around the clock?
Yeah.
Again, the same thing, if his job is in a position of leadership or whatever, and you have to react to like the current situation that we're all going through, take that into account. But if it's not, if he's just like, oh, I can, grind and hustle here, it's like, hey, just take a minute to not do that, because we need this time. It's an opportunity. And remember, whenever a couple or whoever, a husband or wife or whatever, comes at each other sideways, you're only going to get that same pushback, right? We talk about mirror neurons oftentimes. Like if you look at a baby and make a mad face or whatever like that, that baby is going to do the same thing. But if you're smiling and laughing and all this stuff, those mirror neurons are going to come back. So if Melanie comes at me with like, hey, sweetie, hey, whatever, touches me or whatever, I'm going to reflect that back at her. If I come at her like all huffy and mad, then she's going to be like, whoa, what's the deal? I'm going to set myself up to defend myself, right? Practice gratitude. There is so much we can't do, but be grateful for what we can. Technology is great, so they can still be educated. Hubby can work from home. Yep, 100%. We have lunch and dinner together until I go back to work. Yep.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. About the invitation to do something to invite your husband out of that work mode, because I get super clicked into work mode and I don't want to do anything else. So I think it needs to be a state change. Like instead of being like, stop working.
What is a state change? Tell us about it.
Well, a state change is like if I stood up right now and started doing jumping jacks, my body is in a totally different state as opposed to sitting here talking. And it's like a mind shift, a state change. You're moving your body, whatever. So I think of inviting your husband to take a walk is a great idea, because you can talk and walk and he's not thinking about what he should be doing. I think that's something that stands out to me as being really hard. If Seth just asks me to stop doing something that I really want to do and doesn't ask me to replace it with something else, it's very hard for me to get my mind off of it. So you can't just...
That's a really good point.
It's that idea of you can't just erase, you have to replace. And for someone who has a mind like that, because I'm like a dog video. I'm just kidding. Like a dog that wants to get something done or chew the carpet till it's gone. I'm like that. So I need my brain to get onto something else. like a walk or reading with the kids or knitting or what. I don't know. I don't knit, but whatever.
Okay, somebody says, I'm in quarantine from work and living at my girlfriend's place until I can go work again. She's able to work from home, but I'm trying to find other ways to make money right now. Any ideas? Yeah, tons of ideas. Deliver pizza, drive Uber, all these like super simple things.
Listen to Dave Ramsey. They usually have a bajillion ways to make money.
Yeah, depending on where the level of quarantine your city or state is in, because I don't think delivering. Well, I don't know. Maybe I could deliver pizzas or drive Uber or something like that. It might
be not allowed anymore in our state. I don't know.
Being a single parent, I've been able to take the kids out and teach them woodworking skills. I'm also the gym is closed, and I have set up an actual circuit training with the kids.
That's really cool.
That is awesome. That is so much fun.
You come to our house and teach us woodworking skills?
Yeah, we've done like circuit stuff a couple of times. When I say circuit stuff, I'm just like, hey, let's run here, jump over this, kind of like do this thing. Frisbee, football, hula hoop outside, those stretchy band things, and kids love that too.
Yeah.
And that really, hey Tracy.
Yes. Yeah, but I would say for the guy looking for work, honestly, listen to Dave Ramsey's show. They often have, you probably even could Google it, Dave Ramsey, ways to make extra money. They have tons of information about that, and they're usually good, kind of easy to do, quick turnaround type stuff.
Yeah.
You guys are so awesome. What a great encouragement to see you this morning.
Yay.
Same to you.
Yes, same to you. So we're doing this every morning. This is going to be part of our routine, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So keep the questions up. We're going to have a couple of cool interviews coming up with a really great person. And more to that to come. We're going to interview him later today, actually, and we'll drop that. And hopefully we're going to do a series to talk about mental health in these times of anxieties and routine change and adjustments and all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be really interesting. This guy has 2 PhDs, mental health, counseling, crisis management, all this stuff. So it'll be really cool to introduce you guys to him and then continue this series that we're going to do. So shoot us your questions. hello@anatomyofmarriage.com. And you guys, remember, we are here for you, and we want you to be here for other people in the community as well, because we're all in this together right now. Absolutely, we're experiencing all the same things. Panic, fear, anxiety, whatever, unknowns.
Dog videos.
And dog videos. And also, guess what? We also have the same opportunities right now to turn these things into something new that was just kind of like teetering on the surface, and it wouldn't have come about had this whole pandemic not come, but it's here. So how can we take this opportunity to look at it different, to reframe, and just look at everything through a different lens? So
how can we turn our frown upside down?
Exactly.
But you didn't say your routine.
Oh, well, I'm wrapping up the show.
But you didn't say your routine.
Okay, wake up at 6 a.m., drink some water, have some coffee, journal. What am I thankful for? What are my intentions during the day? And I like to, recently I've just been kind of free flowing ideas down, because I think a lot of ideas are going to come out of this whole thing. So just writing a million ideas down. Doesn't mean I'm going to have to do them, but something will stick.
Gets them out of his head.
Gets them out of my head. And then check email. Let's see. Make the bed, set the day up for success.
Did y'all hear that? He makes the bed. We make the bed together, or he makes by himself.
Yeah, make the bed. Just having these, just super simple routines and stuff. Cold shower in the morning. Well, actually a hot shower and then a cold shower. That's a part of my routine. I make myself do it. I'm like, I don't want to do it. You're not going out that way. You're going to take that cold shower. So what's
really cute is that he models that for our children. And our kids will do stuff like that. They'll be like, oh, I'm scared. I can do it. They will say it out loud. It's the cutest thing.
Yeah, it's the Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it kind of thing, which is that's a really good book if you haven't read it. All right, guys.
Before we wrap up, let's say if you need therapy, this is a time of a lot of isolation. Don't let yourself be isolated and get worse. Go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. We've partnered with them. You can get teletherapy there if that's what you need in this time. So thank you for joining us.
Get hooked up with a real licensed counselor. And this, okay, I didn't tell you this, but this is one of my ideas from this morning. Maybe I want to offer a really cheap monthly service you can have my actual personal text, and it's a thing that you sign up for. It's like, hey man, what do you think about this? And then we just kind of talk back and forth. It's a service, it's a fee, it's not counseling. However, if you like what we do and you think that we can help you in that way and you want to pay for it because we value what we pay for, then that might be a thing.
That's a good idea to write down. Anyway, have a lovely day.
All right, love you guys. Bye.